Good morning, Year 8. I hope you're well and having a lovely day. Please do write the date and the title, Introducing Thomas Gradgrind, Hard Times. Do now. How far do you agree with this statement? Teach these boys and girls nothing but facts. Pause the video for a few moments to answer this question. For this lesson, you'll need a pen, pencil and highlighter, your exercise book, and a copy of the Gradgrind extract. So let's review that statement. How far do you agree? It potentially reduces creativity and could affect independent thinking and might mean that people don't seek challenge for existing ideas or seek improvement. However, it would enable you to acquire a great deal of knowledge. So today's lesson will be based on a character from Hard Times. Mr. Thomas Gradgrind, the school owner, cares about nothing but facts, facts, facts. He despises emotion and imagination, and his great ambition is to break the spirits of his pupils and turn them into human cogs in a huge industrial machine. These strict teachings also apply to his own children, obedient Louisa and rebellious Tom. Can they free themselves from his heartless regime, or are they doomed to live without love and freedom? It's set against the backdrop of the Industrial Revolution, and the reader is invited to consider whether Gradgrind will ever learn the error of his ways. So I'd like you to read the extract and spend 10 minutes doing so. This is the opening of the novel, where the reader is introduced to one of the central characters, the stern school inspector, Thomas Gradgrind. His name is an indication of his tough, unemotional character. He works in Coketown, a fictitious place based on real northern industrial centres, which were growing rapidly in Victorian times. His attitude to education is that it should only serve to prepare young people for a life in Coketown's many factories. Pause the video now to read the extract. So task. Now that you've read the extract, I'd like you to find words from the second paragraph which are similar in meaning to these definitions. A. Dull, tedious, repetitive. B. A large room, often underground. C. Remarks or comments on a subject. D. Stress or highlight. E. Authoritarian or undemocratic. F. Stubborn, unbending, inflexible. G. The way a person stands or moves. And H. Unhelpful, not fitting in with others. Pause the video for 5 minutes to do this now. So you could have picked monotonous, vault, observations, emphasis, dictatorial, inflexible, courage, and unaccommodating. If you didn't get any of the answers, please could you write them down. So task. What word is repeated several times in the first paragraph? What is the effect of this repetition? What is Thomas Gradgrind's attitudes to the children? Support your answer with evidence in the form of short quotations. Pause the video for 7 minutes to do this now. So, the repeated word is facts, which is to show the only type of education acceptable to Gradgrind and his like. He wants nothing that isn't practical and useful for a life of work. No arts, music, nothing that uses or enriches the imagination. Everything must be measurable. Gradgrind regards the children as vessels, to be filled with the information he deems acceptable. He credits the children with nothing except this capacity to be filled. Gradgrind shows no understanding of or empathy with the pupils. He regards them at the best as mini adults, at worst as unfeeling, inhuman entities, without thought, preference, or personality. So pause the video to add to your answers to encompass what's on the slide. So task. Based on your findings, I'd like you to write a paragraph in response to this question. What sort of man is Thomas Gradgrind? Refer to your extract and remember to comment on language and structure. You may wish to revisit your extract and annotate ideas first. Pause the video for 10 minutes to do this now. So what did you pick out? These are a couple of things you may have noticed. Direct speech shows his character. His language is clipped, harsh, and authoritative. Repetition is used to emphasize his beliefs, but maybe also shows his lack of understanding of the complexities of education. Visual description builds a picture of him. The use of strong metaphors, like square wall of a forehead, and other imagery of buildings, cellarage, base, add to the impression that he is emotionless and unfeeling. Harsh adjectives, like hard, inflexible, dry, tell us he is totally unsuited to the education of young people. He is totally secure in his views and will tolerate no criticism or challenge. You've also got personification. Neckcloth, trained to grasp him by the throat, suggests that even his own clothes are controlled by him to ensure he never utters a word which is not in keeping with his beliefs. This is an aggressive image, reflecting his nature. If you didn't get anything on the slide, please note it down. So education in the 19th century. Education in childhood in Britain saw huge changes during the Victorian period. At the start, very few children from poorer backgrounds went to school. They started work at a young age in factories or down the mines, and most grew up unable to read or write. Between 1833 and 1850, Parliament passed a number of laws that restricted the number of hours children could work. School, then, was very different to your schooling experience. The teachers were strict and often used cruel punishments, such as a cane and a dunce cap. So what would it be like in Mr. Gradgrind's class? The children are described as if they are passive recipients of the education provided with. They are granted no control, autonomy, or choice, but are expected to be grateful. The use of the word vessels reminds us of the old saying, empty vessels make the most noise, suggesting that without being filled, the children will be useless, babbling inconveniences. Vessels also has biblical connotations, suggesting his ideas are based in Christianity and are to be followed. What would it be like to be a pupil of Mr. Gradgrind? Using the remaining lesson time, I would like you to write a first-person account of one of the students in his class. You could write it as a diary entry, or perhaps write it in the present tense of someone experiencing his lessons in real time. Pause the video to do this now. Thank you very much for your hard work today. I hope you enjoyed learning about Mr. Gradgrind, and hopefully it made you appreciate your school experience a bit more, or how it will be when you go back. So thank you once again. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and I will speak to you next time.